Hi class. Welcome to Human Communication and Group, and we are in spring of 2023. I am looking forward to walking you through this course. I want to deeply apologize to you all. I know this isn't what you were anticipating. You weren't anticipating an online course. And for some of you, I know this may be very frustrating and you might be a bit disappointed. So I apologize for whatever it is that your frustrations may be. In a very cliche way, I want to say, like, you guys are training to be future clinicians, and sometimes that requires us to pivot, which is a very COVID word, which it may also frustrate you, and I apologize. However, this is where we're at. And so, due to an emergency, I was given the course last week, and I apologize that you're getting all the information when you are. I just have had to do a lot of work to get this ready for you in this format. So, please be patient with me, give some grace. We will work together. This is going to be great. Fortunately, I've taught this class both in person and virtually, so hopefully that makes you feel a little bit better. Like I said, my name is Toni Jauregui. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. I have been licensed since 2010, so for the past 13 years, and has worked as a clinician since 2005. It's a long journey to get licensed, so the road to licensure is not necessarily always very quick. And so I have a group practice in Riverside. I supervise clinicians with Riverside Unified School District, and I've been adjuncting for about almost 10 years now. So it's really something I enjoy to do, what you'll come to realize for people in our field. Many of us do more than one thing. And so I enjoy teaching. It's a nice break from seeing clients and doing some of the other ordinary things that I do. And so I do enjoy this work. I am also teaching professional practice right now, but for CBU online. So anyways, another few side notes about me. I have 5 children, 4 boys and 1 girl. And so I'm just a busy person. So I can empathize with you as far as if you're busy, have a lot going on. I understand that because that is my life as well. So I'm not trying to talk to you like you don't understand things, but I know probably for some of you who've maybe never taken an online course, we are all kind of used to some online things due to COVID and having to do remote learning. So I'm going to walk through some things and pretty standard, in online courses, you have a live lecture and discussion boards to compensate for class time. Okay, so I will post a live lecture weekly. There will also be like 10 discussion boards in this course. And so that's our way of kind of having a conversation, even though we're not all together. It's a way to kind of talk about the material and things that are going on in the course. And so I wanted to walk through that a little bit for you guys, just in case this is new for you and you have not done this before. This might be helpful. So this is what your home screen will look like on Blackboard, I believe, to my knowledge. And we're going to go to first the syllabus right here. Now, please know, because I got this course added to me a little later, I had to do a lot of work. I've had to do a lot of work. And so I'm trying to get as much done as I can before our class begins on Monday. However, definitely the first few weeks, I mean, you're probably not going to hopefully be doing things in week 14 today, but there's some things I might be adding and changing in the syllabus, nothing significant. And if it is significant, I will make sure to give you enough notice. But for the most part, the syllabus is accurate. Here is my contact information. I am not a full-time faculty member. So if you need to make an appointment or talk to me, we can do a virtual meeting. Here's my phone number, my email, so you can get a hold of me. These are the 2 books we will be using. I love Corey and Corey books. I think they're very effective. They get the job done well. They're very easy to understand. So we have the group process and practice book, which I think you're really going to enjoy. And then the Yalom book, who is like the godfather of group therapy. That book as well. And it's the same book I've used back in the day. And of course, a newer edition, but a Yalom book. So we're going to go to our assignments for this course. So we're going to have 10 discussion boards, each worth 37.5 points for a total of 375 points. We're going to have a group therapy demonstration video. If you have been in professional practice, you've done demonstration videos probably, and other courses you've done demonstration videos. So for this course, you will do one as well. It's going to require you to find yourself 5 other volunteers who are willing to be your group members for you, and you're going to demonstrate running a group. So you can use classmates. The only thing that could be time consuming about that, then if you're all in each other's videos, then you're going to be doing a lot of videos. Like, it might take you some time unless you plan it out and organize it. Now, because you guys have been an in-person class, you may have classmates in this class that you have met before and are close with, and you're willing to do that for each other, each take turns running a group for each other. That's great. And if that works for you, great. If it doesn't, that's okay too. You can use friends, family, anyone you may know that would feel comfortable just being part of a group. You can do it in person with the people, or you could run a group virtually. I feel like nowadays we have to get used to both types of therapy, and running an in-person group and or virtual group is a very common thing this day and age. So you may do the same with your group. So we'll talk more about that as it gets closer, but I wanted to kind of give you a heads up about that assignment, because it's not something that you want to wait a long time for and then be overwhelmed when you don't have participants. So you want to start hunting participants. As you know from probably role-playing in class and or role-playing videos that you've done, that sometimes your participants make it way harder than actual real clients. So you want to make sure you pick good people to be your volunteers and people who aren't going to make your life miserable in attempting to role play. You have a role-playing reaction paper. So your group therapy demonstration reaction paper, that is also one of your assignments. And then you have a capstone. And this is something that's like your big end of the semester project. So that's to do the last week of class. And then we're going to have, I don't have it listed on here, so I'm going to need to do that. You'll have your final exam as well as one of your final things that you'll do. So you'll have the group therapy demonstration reaction paper, the video that you'll make, and the final exam and your discussion boards. So lots of good things. I think hopefully you'll find them pretty evened out. The video is going to be week 4. So that's something you're going to need to be mindful of. You guys have a spring break. So week 9, I believe, is your spring break week. So you're not going to do any work that week. I'm not going to have you do assignments or things of that nature. So we're going to have that week off, and then we'll go from there. And I believe this year spring break coincides with the Easter holiday. So as we're looking, we'll then go to learning activities. Okay. And so learning activities, I'm still clarifying this, but the student responsibility agreement is just something online students take just to say that you are going to be appropriate and responsible with what is given with the internet and cheating and all those kinds of things. So if you wouldn't mind taking a look at that, filling that out, and that will help our process. So in this section, there's going to be these little folders, one for each week. There's 14 weeks. So if you click on week 1, for example, it tells you what the learning activities are. So you're going to read chapters 1 and 2, Theory and Practice of Psychotherapy. That's the Yalom book. We're going to start off with Yalom, and then we're going to move to the Corey and Corey text, okay? I will post this lecture as week 1 live lecture. So this is your way of getting your lecture. You're going to watch a video of me, which is super great. I'm sure all of you are going to look forward to it 100% each week. I'm actually pretty entertaining, not to boast too much about myself, but or at least I find myself entertaining. That's all that matters. So you'll watch my week 1 lecture. There's going to be supplemental things in here, and what that means is, for example, there's the watch your Irvin Yalom outpatient group therapy videos. those are really for your benefit because we aren't meeting in class. This is additional resources to observe, to watch, to gain information. Online learning is a lot of independent learning, and so we want to give you as much information as we can in order to make the best judgment calls. That's not the right word, not judgment calls. We want you to be able to get as much insight as you can. And since we aren't going to be necessarily experiencing some of these interactions together, the one way to experience it is by watching other people do it. And so there's going to be some Yalom videos, some other videos, some other articles. Now, it's one of those things. It's to help you if you want to gain the most out of this course. I recommend you doing them. I fully understand though that you may not all do that, and that's your choice, but we put it in there for you to have access to these things to gain more understanding and a better idea of what's going on. Now, some of the discussion boards include some of the things that are supplemental. So if you look ahead at the discussion board, that might help give you insight on what you should do next, okay? But like, for example, this is some supplemental information here on week 1. You're going to go to discussion board week 1, and it should take you to the link. So then you click here, and then you're going to create a thread and go from there. So you will write a discussion board, and then you will need to respond to 2 other people. Okay. Now, if there's any hiccups you run into with like, I tried to do this and it's not working, I'm not the end all be all with Blackboard, I have to admit. So I will get assistance to make sure things can run as smoothly as possible. I don't want this to be any more difficult than it has been. I'm a pretty quick to respond person. So I will try to help you as best as I can. I'm hoping everything it goes well, so we won't have these issues. But so every week there should be now I take that back. Not every week, but just if you look, their syllabus will, of course, will tell you. But also if you're looking in here and you go to week 2, there's going to be a live lecture, which I'll post my lecture weekly. There's supplemental PowerPoint on setting up a social phobia group. There's a live demonstration video. And then again, if you click here, you'll see discussion board 2. Okay. Which some of the discussion boards are a little bit probably more in depth. Some of them are a little lighter. It's just to give a variation. But yes, there will be 10 of them, and they are going to be graded. Now, you do have to respond to 2 other classmates in addition to with every discussion board. So you put your information out there, and then your classmates, you'll respond to 2 other classmates as well. So we have to remember, like, these are people either haven't met yet, will meet at some point since you're all on campus students. We want to make sure we are courteous, polite, not rude, those kinds of things. I know sometimes things can feel kind of personal or feel like personal attacks. So we just want to be mindful on how we're writing and how we're responding to others, that these are people we may work with in the future, come alongside at some point. So we want to be conscientious on how we talk to others. And so you will be responding to other people as far as other students in your class through discussion board. So that's discussion board. So that's learning activities. This section, well, I don't know for certain. Actually, you won't see the discussion board section. I just do, but you'll see learning activities. The syllabus is in the syllabus. Okay. And so I just wanted you to be clear on like what you're going to be asked to do and what not. Now, the great thing about online classes is there is something called a rubric, and that will help guide you on what steps you need to take for what needs to happen in whatever the assignment may be. So when we look at this group therapy demonstration video, it explains what you're going to be doing, and then it has all the tasks, okay? What you're going to be doing in group. Okay, so please Make sure with this particular assignment, we're not going to work through any like real issues. Like we're not going to use a group that we're already doing. We're not going to record those people. We're going to, find a subject matter that you feel like is appropriate for you to lead, that you feel comfortable in, that can demonstrate the tasks that are given, and then go from there. Okay. One thing about group is, and you're reading this first week, just the first 2 chapters of the Yalom text. And I shouldn't say just, I know like you have a million things to do, so I'm not trying to disregard all the things that you have to do, but you're going to read the first 2 chapters. We're going to be with each other for a long time. One thing, with group is, what we don't realize is group isn't just necessarily a formal, what we typically think maybe an outpatient setting, maybe an AA meeting or an NA meeting. Group happens in all different kinds of ways, right? We have committees that sometimes feel like groups. We have Bible studies that can feel like groups. We can have gatherings of people where they sit around and talk, and it doesn't feel like, oh, this is what I would describe as a mental health group, but it kind of turns into a process group. So groups are something that we've probably been part of, whether we've recognized it or not. For others of you, you've had experience with some of the groups I have listed, but we probably had all some sort of like, we're all coming together for one common purpose to talk about one thing. And that typically means it's a group of people. So something to be aware of, like you've probably had some experience with group, right? It just hasn't had a title, and I haven't maybe had the title as therapist. And so hopefully what you're gaining from this class is, one, the importance of group. Being a clinician is a beautiful job. I feel very privileged with the work I do with my clients on a regular basis, with the work that my clinicians who work for me do with their clients. I feel very privileged. Group, what I've seen in group is that a lot of times people feel alone in their problems, and it never is a good thing to feel alone in your problems. And even if it's a common problem, it doesn't feel good to feel alone. And with group, people come together, although their experience is very different. They tend to feel not so alone. So even with grief can look very different for every person. You can be in different stages of it. You could have different losses. But to be grieving, I don't feel as alone grieving knowing other people are grieving. And that's where there's a lot of success in different types of groups. There's a lot of success because people don't feel alone. I know I can get through this because somebody else has gotten through it or is getting through it. That's the beauty in addiction groups, right? Is like someone could show up to an AA meeting their first day and they could be like, it's really hard to be here right now. Like I've only been 24 hours without a drink. Whereas there could be someone else at that same group who's been sober for years and can say, I understand where you're coming from, and I want to let you know I've been there and this is where I'm at today. So that gives hope, right? And we all could use some hope. There's so many different kinds of groups, right? We have groups for everything. We have codependency groups. We have parenting groups. We have groups for not eating sugar. We have groups for overeating. We have groups for anxiety and depression. We have psychoeducational groups. We have parenting groups. There's groups for grief, life experiences. There's groups for LGBTQ community, transgender groups. There's all kinds of groups, right? There's groups for parents of people who are going through different things. There's HIV groups. There's a lot of different groups out there to support people and help people to not feel alone. And I think there's something very cathartic about group that can't be gained from individual therapy. I think there's an encouragement and support that a person can gain from a group that they can't gain from individual therapy. So something, whether you plan to use group in your future career or you really are hopeful about it or not, I think it's definitely something that you're going to refer others to and that you're going to recommend. And, one of my course assignments in this course that I've established isn't to make you attend a group. I'm not having you do that. Kind of COVID made everything a little weird with that. But I do encourage you at some point in your life, if you've never attended, any sort of psychoeducational group or a therapy group, to be a guest and to go to one. because it is very interesting. I know I attended AA before for class. I've had students do sexual addiction anonymous groups for a class. They've showed up. Some are, you have to be mindful of if it's open or closed. But I think it is neat to watch them play out. One of the discussion boards that we're going to have over the course of the next 14 weeks is going to talk about the media. And, you probably have all seen TV shows that have shown group. There used to be this old one called Dear John, and they were actually a group. I think it was about being divorced. I was a kid when it was on TV, but it's about being divorced or those kinds of things. We have, because we have groups for divorce care, things of that nature. I think it would be beneficial for you at some point to try a live group, even for just one time. Just so you have that experience, so you can know what it's like, so you can be able to reassure your clients or share something with them with your own experiences. I think it could be beneficial. But with the TV one, be mindful as you're watching TV between now and the end of this semester. If you see a good movie or TV show with demonstrating a group, take some notes about that, because that's one of our discussion boards, is to watch a show and to kind of make comments about it. I'm sure most of them are going to be funny, because a lot of times things that are displayed on TV are not quite accurate to real groups, but you'll be able to, after reading Yalom and some of your other texts, you'll be able to be like, that was actually not okay what just happened in that group. So, I'm really excited for you guys. Again, I know there might be some frustrations, but I hope you really are able to take a lot in and learn a lot of things, maybe ease some of your nerves. I hope this process is smooth for you, even though unexpected. And if you have any questions or concerns, my information's in the syllabus. But I do look forward to working with you, coming alongside you in this journey. Hopefully this won't be the last time I'll see you, whether it be in an online platform, probably not in a class platform, I don't say. I mean, I can't speak for the future, I guess, but I mostly teach online, but I have taught at the school. I am a former CBU student. Back in the day, counseling center person, and it's been a pleasure to be teaching at the university as well. So anyways, I wish you all the best. Read the first 2 chapters. Go ahead and answer that discussion board. If we have any hiccups with Blackboard, just let me know and I'll get on it as quickly as I can, because I'm kind of discovering some of the things too myself. And I think that's it. So I wish you all the best. Have a fabulous first week. And we'll go from there.